It's June 15th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a passenger ship disaster that shocked a city, a galloping horse that changed history, and a battlefield legend that shaped a nation's identity. Let's begin. On June 15th, 1904, a church picnic in New York City became a floating nightmare. That morning, the steamboat General Slocum pulled away from the dock, carrying families from the St. Mark's Evangelical Lutheran Church. Most of them were women and children from Manhattan's German-American community, dressed for a day of music, fun, and summer air. But below deck, something was already waiting. A fire broke out in the lamp room, and flames began to spread through the wooden steamboat at a terrifying speed. People looked for help, but safety equipment was almost useless. Lifeboats were tied down and painted over and impossible to launch. Life preservers that should have saved passengers had rotten with age. Some were packed with crumbling cork, some had even been weighed to pass inspection. The ship was burning, but escape kept failing. Captain William Van Schaick did not immediately beach the vessel. Instead, it pushed onward toward the North Brother Island, while wind fed the fire and panic swallowed the deck. By the time it was over, an estimated 1,021 people were dead. The disaster nearly erased New York's Little Germany as families moved away from the neighborhood that could no longer bear its bad memories. Only the captain was convicted, but the dead changed the law. After the General Slocum burned, America was forced to admit that the safety rules meant nothing when no one made sure they were even used. On June 15, 1878, a quiet racetrack in Palo Alto, California, a horse ran straight into the future. Her name was Sally Gardner. To anyone watching, it looked like an ordinary gallop. The animal surged forward in a blur of muscles and speed, but along the tracks, something was waiting. 12 cameras stood in a row, aimed like a silent witness. A thin wire trip stretched across the path. As Sally raced past, each wire snapped. One by one, the camera fired. Click, click, click. For years, the horsemen had argued over a simple question. When a horse runs at full speed, do all four hooves leave the ground at once? The human eye could not answer the question, but the cameras could. When Edward Muybridge developed the images, the impossible appearance of frame by frame, the impossible appeared frame by frame. For a split second, Sally Gardner was completely airborne. The experiment was repeated on June 19th. Muybridge had frozen motion itself. Then he went even further by projecting the image rapidly on his supraxiscope, and the photographs seemed to move again. A horse that had already vanished from the track came back to life on screen, and the flickering illusion that the world saw, the ghost of cinema being born. On June 15th, in the year 1219, beneath the walls of what is now Tallinn, Estonia, a Danish army found itself trapped between faith, fear, and blood. King Vladimir II of Denmark had come east on a crusade, leading his forces against the locals during the Northern Crusade. The Danes had built their camps near Lindonissa, believing victory was within their reach. But then the battle turned. According to legend, the Estonians launched a sudden attack and drove the Danish army towards collapse. Panic spread and the lines began to break. And above the chaos, Archbishop Anders Sunesen raised his arm in prayer. As long as his arm stayed lifted, the Danes seemed to hold. But when exhaustion dragged them down, the enemy surged forward. A red banner with a white cross was said to have fallen from the sky. The sight of it, legend says, gave the Danes new strength. They rallied, fought back, and claimed victory. Afterward, the Danish stronghold rose there. So was it a miracle remembered, or a myth created after the blood had dried? Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.